What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about this awesome fireplace behind me. So if you're curious how this was done, I'll say stick around. This is a shot of the fireplace the day that it was delivered. As you can see here, there was no framing done. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, we got some framing installed, and then we got to install the fireplace. Here in this picture you can see the drywall was done on the upper part. For the stone covering I went with marble, and this is a shot of the two slabs of Botticino Classico that I picked. The supplier that I got the stone from was not doing deliveries, so I had to build my own A-frame to go pick it up. Here I'm all loaded up and I'm heading towards my body shop where we're gonna cut the stone to the dimensions that we need. This was the first time that I was carrying stone like this on an A-frame, and fortunately everything turned out to be okay.
Okay. Down, Papa. Okay. Now here. Now you grab from here up.
More to left? Right, like that, that's close.
A little bit to you. Okay.
That's it. So just like that, the stonework was done. Now it was time to start the woodwork. In case you're wondering what are those things sticking out of the wall like that, those are my supports for the floating shelves. They are tied up into the wall framing behind the drywall. So for this project I chose yet again the beautiful Brazilian cherry or jatoba. In this case this is a 4/4. This is about a 10-foot long piece. You guys check out this beautiful coloration in this wood and the grain. You have all these blacks, browns and reds. Just amazing. So this is what I'm going to be using to build out the shelves and the front piece of the mantle. I'm going to start by cutting this into smaller, more manageable pieces, and I'm going to be using my sliding table saw to do that. For the next step in the milling process, I'm going to take these boards and run them through the jointer. These boards are about 7-inch wide and my jointer is only a 6-inch jointer, so I had to remove the guard and able to join these pieces. Got all my boards jointed on 2 sides. Now it's time to go back to the table saw and cut into width. Finally got all the boards milled, and I played with the grain a little bit when I put them together, and this is what I kind of ended up with as being the best looking combination of the boards. Now all I gotta do is glue these together and then go on to mitering them. Before I start making the shelves, I'm gonna show you guys here how this whole mounting thing is gonna work. These are some support pieces that I mounted inside the framing of the wall before I mounted the drywall. So these are the ones that's gonna hold the shelves in place. And these are 2 inches by 2 inches square pieces of the same wood, Brazilian cherry, very strong. I didn't want to do, you know, the flimsy floating shelf mount with the cleat on the wall. That doesn't hold anything. And these shelves, they weigh probably, when I'm done with them, probably 30 pounds easy. So this is what's going to hold these shelves nice here in place. This is the cable for the electrical. I have some LED lighting going under the shelf, and the same for the top shelf. I have some more LEDs there. So I'm gonna have one piece on the top of these support beams, one under, and then 2 pieces, one in the front and one on the side, mitered to the top and bottom to complete the shelf. To build the internal structure of the shelf, I will be using this 8/4 piece. I'm going to cut this in half at 2 inches. This is a 4-inch wide piece. I'm going to cut it in half at 2 inches, and then I'm going to mill it down to 1 7/8 inches, which is the same size of the supports by the fireplace. So after milling, I'm about 3 thousandths bigger than the supports at the fireplace. I'm going to leave it that way. I want a tight fit. I'm going to do a test quick to see how it fits, and then I'm going to start cutting the top and bottom pieces of the shelf. We got all the pieces cut up to size. I got the 2 17-inch pieces for each shelf, shelf 1 and shelf 2, and these are some small pieces that will go in the back and front just for some extra support. I set up the router table with a 45-degree cutting bit, and now I'm going to cut this front piece of the shelf and see how it turns out. So next I'm going to glue the spacers onto the top board. This is where the miter is. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera or not, but this is how the miter goes. I'm gonna glue the left and right spacers, and then I'm going to cut the bottom piece to size and miter it too, nail it onto the spacers, and then I'm gonna go and finish cutting the sides, front and side, and nail those also, and then that should be it. So let's go. Everything I build is kind of overkill, but I'd rather be overkill than have it to fix it later. So I'm going to add a block on the front part of the shelf and one in the back for more stability, and so it won't flex or anything like that over time. And it will help with nailing the front piece, miter piece here in the front too. It's been a struggle, but I finally got this thing clamped in place. I pretty much used every single clamp I had in the shop almost. And yep, clamp the tops, sides, put a few 23 gauge nails in it. Now I'm gonna let it dry for a couple hours and then take it apart, test it on the supports by the fireplace and see how it fits. You remove the clamps and this is how the shelf looks like. I still have to fill up all the little pinholes and sand it out and finish it. And in case you guys are wondering how the shelf turned out finished, here's a quick shot of it. The same way this shelf was done, the other three were made also, so I'm not gonna bore you to death here how I made them all. You get the idea. For the finish I use Rubio monocoat in 2 coats, sanded in between. Yesterday, after I finished cutting the miters into this front middle piece here of the mantle, this mantle is made out of 4 pieces. You got a center front, you have a right side that's gonna go around, and then you have another left side over there. So I was not able to record because I was in a hurry to get the glue spread out and get it together before it dried up on me. And this is how I ended up clamping into the subframe. I used some fence clamps, drilled some holes into the subframe there and used some fence clamps. And here at the end I just used some regular clamps with a pressure plate. And to align it, I had this pre-cut gauge block, and I use this, kind of move it around from end to end and checking it how it fits on the top and also on the bottom. So I can see it's a pretty good fit. Only time will tell, I guess. Now next thing is to cut this top piece here, top piece, bottom piece here, and then the left and right pieces over here. They're gonna have a hook match here, and then cut the top shelf, bottom shelf, and wrap it up, I guess. So let's go. Got the side piece and the front one glued up. They are nicely book matched over here in the corner, and then over here where the front piece, center front piece meets this right front piece, these are not the same boards, they are not book matched, so I created this indentation. It's about 1/8 of an inch deep by about 1/4 inch wide to kind of separate this shelf, this whole corner shelf, from the centerpiece, given its own identity. So even if there is a little bit of color variation in between the centerpiece and this right side piece, that little indentation in here will kind of give it its own identity. Now I'm going to focus on cutting this side on here, this side here on the left, and then the tops and the bottoms. I use the same trick when I cut this top part of the shelf. Put about 2-3 layers of tape over here, and that will elevate this end of the shelf versus the other end. When I route it on top of the table, that will add me about 1/2 degree on that chamfer bit. So these shelves, top shelves, will end up at about 45.5 degrees, and the front piece is at 45. And this way, when you clamp them together, you'll have a really nice tight miter. Okay, here goes nothing. I get these cables out of the way. These cables are driving me insane here. Okay, let's see. We're getting there. Okay, now that's a fit. What you see here is me cleaning up the surface with some mineral spirits before applying the finish. If you guys enjoy this kind of content and you are not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing and smash the like button. It will really motivate me to make some more videos like this one. Here I'm using a white pad to really rub that finish into the wood, and in the same time it kind of polishes the finish too. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them in the comment section below and I will try to answer them as soon as I can. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, stay busy.